And up next here, we got a fight that was supposed to go down a few weeks ago. It was a short notice matchup where Chris Gutierrez, he was going to fight Gian Matsumoto. Castañeda had another opponent, and both their opponents had to pull out, so they got booked against each other. And then, for whatever reason, that fight didn't end up happening on the card, and they pushed it down the road to now. So these two veterans are going to get down finally, and should be a good fight. I feel like this little bit of reset and time to get ready definitely favors Castañeda a little bit. With Chris Gutierrez, I think you kind of know, if you're Chris Gutierrez, what fighters are going to try to do to beat you at this point, because you're a specialist. You have an elite skill set on the outside, striking, pot shotting, using your kicks. So fighters are either going to look to pressure you and take away that kicking range and try to stay in your face and make it more of a dogfight, or take you down. And that's probably what Chris Gutierrez's training camps are every time. Him trying to figure out how to negate pressure and land his strikes as you come in, stay at kicking range, and keep the fight standing or get back up to his feet when he's taken down. And for Chris Gutierrez, in this fight, I think that he can follow the blueprint that we saw from Daniel Marcos, where Daniel Marcos did a great job of battering John Castañeda's legs, and I think that Chris Gutierrez can do a very similar thing. With Castañeda, he does have good pressure, he has decent power as well, so he has some attributes that could potentially pose problems for Chris Gutierrez, and if Castañeda gets on top, his grappling acumen is decent, but he's one of these guys where he likes to bounce in and out of range. He is good at closing the distance quick. He'll land nice switch stance attacks. But I think that he's going to have trouble figuring out how to close the distance on a guy like Chris Gutierrez. I think that Chris Gutierrez is going to be a little bit sharper with the hands, be able to counter Castañeda as he comes in. And then at range, I think he's going to be battering Castañeda's legs. I think he's going to be working the body kicks that could eventually lead to a head kick, and just being superior. And with Castañeda, he does have good kicks of his own, but going kick for kick with a guy like Chris Gutierrez, I don't think is a smart strategy. And even though you look at Chris Gutierrez, he's a little bit older, he's not necessarily on the greatest run in his career right now, even though he's coming off a victory over Quang Lee, and he hasn't fought in a while, but John Castañeda isn't no spring chicken either. He's 33, only 1 year younger than Chris Gutierrez. And I just think that Gutierrez is going to be a little bit too sharp on the feet, too polished for Castañeda. He has the experience. I think that he's going to be able to navigate it pretty well. And I do see him being able to keep this fight standing for the most part. And if he does get taken down, I think he can get back up like we saw him do versus Quang Lee. So ultimately, I just think Chris Gutierrez is a little bit too good for John Castañeda in this spot and is going to get the victory.